Alrighty guys, ZenAku playing for Team Seraphic Nexus. Just another game with Surge. I'm playing now in Akalon Waste. And we'll just be trying going for that build that I was talking about in the previous game on Neo Planet, where I was going for that Blinkstalker Immortal. Obviously he tried to go for a slow Lingo win, which definitely works when you're being greedy, and that's always an option to do. As you've seen, I think Lenok likes to do it quite a lot, and it's worked quite a lot for him. It's probably got more than a 50% win rate, but it's definitely not something that you can rely on, because the counter is very simple. It's not so much like a, pulling on somebody's multitask or anything like that. It's just really basically somebody making a mistake. Alright, so I'll chuck down this pylon. And again, for anybody that ever has issues with trying to make a forge wall, something that you can always do is just line this pylon up with the very edge just here, and always leaving about 2 cells worth of space just down over there, and you eventually have a perfect wall which fits forge, gateway, cybernetics core, and a pylon, and just one spot to fit a zealot. And I'll show you that afterwards. But Akalon, a lot of people will think that it's a very good Protoss map, and very much so is, because it's so easy to just take that third base. Basically, you're able to just kill those rocks at the third base, and it's very difficult for your opponent to try and punish that, because of the fact of you're able to basically get that Nexus down, and he has to commit a lot of units to try and kill that, and it's just a very difficult place to attack because of the 2 force field width. And it's it's just, also if you don't know what's coming and you try to do like some kind of early aggression attack, sometimes that can work as well. But if you try to blind counter and your opponent just plays standard, then it can actually be quite bad for you as well, because obviously the Protoss is already just ready for it and you're just equally as behind. So he's actually trying to block me a bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck down a second pylon. See if I can get this Nexus down. Yeah, I managed to get it. Excellent. So he's, I'll have to check in just a second. I'll just go, I guess, scout his main just before any links come out. He's actually taking any gas. So Queen's making wings, and no gas is taken. So it's all pretty safe. I'm just not making probes again. Now I'll have a quick look at the third base, see if that's actually where he put his hatchery or not. Because he may have actually proxied it in my base or something like that. Alright. Now something to note is that you should always try to keep your probe on about maybe 10 to 15 HP. I think there's a small chance that I'll still save this, but I think it'll be very close at the very end. Yeah. So it's got 2 hits left in it. And so you have to be very careful about that. If you leave it out for too long, the Lings actually do catch up to it, and are able to freely get that. Make a zealot first. Couple of works of probes. Now, normally, actually, if there's a slow Ling line that comes now, you should normally have just a probe still sitting in there until the zealot's finished. So we'll do that. Get look gate. And normally, as soon as the zealot is done, you're actually able to scout straight away, and by the time your probe gets there, depending on how fast they took that hatchery, you'll be able to see if he got that, if he actually did make the 3rd hatchery, and it would be completed by that time. So we'll see what he did. Make another pylon. So I see that the base is done now. That's good news for me. So I get this +1 attack, take these 2 gases at 630, Now that I've got the sentry on, I can be a little bit aggressive with the zealot. Not really seeing much going on here, so I'll just be scouting around. So I want to make 3 gateways now. Take another pylon. Excellent. Now what I'll do is I'll chuck down a Twilight Council. It doesn't really matter if he sees it or not. Again, it's more of just like, it's very hard to deny the scouting without them actually being able to see it or not. Make the mothership core. Another pylon for the sake of it. Oops. So this fly over his base. Now actually making an observer, getting your observer count up now is actually a really good idea instead of making those faster mortals. So as soon as my gates are done, I'll warp in 4 zealots. Because you want to try to force as many units as you can early on, as fast as possible. Oops. Let's have a look. So get blink. And so get this mothership core to do a bit of scout around. And I'll try and make this DT shrine in the place that he sees the last. Get a stalker to kill that. Now he's already making it like at least 1 roach. That's good for me. And did he make... So I got my 2 observers. Plus 2 attack. I'm just pushing that unit away a little bit. Maybe overseer so he doesn't see the dark shrine. So I noticed that he still hasn't actually made the spores of these bases yet. So that's pretty good for me. Just doing a little bit as much damage as I can. Now I should try and send the stalkers that I've made here to go see if there's any actually my macro is kind of slipping a little bit here, unfortunately. But I should have probably a few more sentries made, and let's have a look. I think the DT shrine almost finished. Make another. So now that that's done, I'll make a few DTs. One to the main, natural, and third. Then make a few more gateways. So he's making hydras now, so I should try to get my temple archive as fast as possible. So it looks like he was already kind of prepared for it. But it's not too bad because you can kind of commit to those units, and it doesn't matter as much on this map because of the fact that it's so easy to be defensive with your sentries. So always keeping the warp prism out of the map, trying not to lose it. Just making more immortals, getting storm when you can. Probably chucking down 2 more gateways. So he's making an infestation pit now. There's something you can do to be really irritating on this map, just always bouncing between third and natural. Try to target fire the drones as best as you can. Get the attack upgrade, add some more gateways. Actually, funnily enough, I've kind of skipped out on making as many stalkers as I probably should in this game. So kind of misplay by me. I'll make another warp prism just because I have the kind of have the minerals for it right now. So let's scout with a hallucinated Phoenix to see if he's maybe going for a few extra bases. See his upgrades. He's only got yeah, 1 range, 1 attack. Oops. So just making a few more stalkers now, and just looking to take that 4th base after you've got a decent amount of supply. So just having a look at his composition now, see what he's actually maybe trying to go for. So now something you can do is I've baited him out to see that there's a warp prism over here. Yep, he's actually already ready for that one, but so maybe this one will do. Shut this down. This is another nice really. Oh. So I'm just going to scout with this warp prism anyway, see what he's actually trying to make. So he's just got that hive done. So the only thing that I'm really concerned about. 1 second. So now I should try and be a little bit aggressive with my units, because obviously there's like no reason not to. Chuck down a few cannons. Just 1 Templar at this base. So I've chucked down the Stargate because just in case if he's going for some kind of should also have a observer with my army. If he goes for, and there's the mutas. So I'm just going to quickly recall to my natural. What I'm going to do is I'm basically going to try. Oh, I should have definitely have a zealot there. That was kind of a misplay by me. Oops. So I'll try to storm this as best as I can. So basically, you want to try to be going for a base trade from this point, because he's invested so much into those mutas. Basically, what you want to try to do is cannon a base, best you can, because he's made all those units from earlier on, and they haven't actually done all that much damage at all. And so the only thing that he's had enough time to bank up for is that composition. So he's made about maybe 15 or so muta. That's normally enough to really dictate this kind of play, and hopefully it works out. Maybe he hasn't done enough at all, but we'll see. So I'm just counting this base as much as I can. I want to basically make the rest of what I can in Archons, because that will be able to deal with the units quite well. If he does try to go for Ultras or something like that, but if he does try to go for Blink, if he tries to go for some kind of Broodlord play, I've already got the Blinkstalkers out as well, which do quite well. So surprisingly, he's not actually being really that aggressive with the. So I'm just going to scout a little bit with the Phoenix, have them hovering around, see what's going on. Whoops, there's actually quite a lot of drones in that. There we go. 2 more Archons. Now I can't really see his army just yet, so I could be worried if there's maybe some borrowed units or something like that. Just try to spread your units as best you can. Try to have your Archons spread, so let's see if you can try to hold this. And there are the Broodlords. So basically you want to try force out the units with the Storm. And then after that just blink under them. So just pull back a little bit, don't want to lose, because they do trade quite well. A couple more, just current boosting gateways. No. Oh my god. Alright. So basically what happened there is I blew too many storms, and he's actually got a few ultras in there, but I had quite a little immortals in that last part, so I'll just have a ask. Yeah. So basically what happened there is that the storm is meant to be able to deal with the lings just at the very end there. And if you're basically, although the Archons do quite well as well, I think I must have lost them when I was trying to push forward into trying to just storm the Roaches and Hydras, which did what they were meant to do, but I basically was being too liberal with the storms, and I wasn't expecting the mass ling follow-up. And so just having those storms there and just having my units maybe, you know, in a better position, like just hanging around the concave. Even though the lings are very fast and they can run out of the storm, they only have 45 or 35 HP. I can't actually, I think it's 35 HP. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's 35 obviously. And so with that, yeah, you just hide in a very, the storm does 80 damage, so then they have to be in there I think for about 1 second, and the ling basically dies within that time. And then I'll just the only thing I'm really curious about this game is that actually how much money he had left banked at the very end, because normally those meter transitions can be very hard to deal with, and depending how much supply he actually puts into that one, you can sometimes maybe reactively make maybe a few Phoenix, and you already have that Blinkstalker Archon composition, which is really good against if he tries to go for Muta Corruptor in response to you making a few Phoenix. But normally in this position he made he made units, then he also transitioned to something that wasn't going to tech more to a hive or something like that, which synced better with his Roaches and Hydras. So normally you can basically go for this base trade situation because you have this the storm, which is really which goes really well. So we'll have a look in this final engagement. Almost up. But that definitely catches a lot of people out. If you're not expecting that, if you actually, sometimes if you leave the Zerg opponent like alone for long enough, they can have enough to remake with a lot of ultras and stuff like that. And again, you know, with being caught out of position, just like that happened in the previous game, the ultras can do quite a bit of damage, especially when they're synced together with Blinding Cloud and stuff like that. So we'll have a look what actually happens in this fight. So yeah, he's only got about 3k in minerals, and there's not much actually in gas that he could really make with this, because normally Storm basically counters almost everything in the Zerg arsenal in terms of, like, you know, meaty ground units. So I'm just basically storming all of this, blink under them, and let's have a look. With the Remax, he's making 118 lings. And 100, yeah, the lings, obviously I like lose all the Archons here, and so this is probably me just getting a little bit too out of position, and I actually have the Mothership Core, which probably would have make me able to recall out of this position. How many ultras does he have? He's only got 3 ultras from this, and I've still got 6 immortals, which is definitely more than enough to be able to deal with him. And he's also got 3 Broodlords, which I have plenty of Stalkers for. So, and he's got 131 lings, which sounds kind of funny. But it's one of those situations that in the late game, if you're not ready for it, if you get caught out with it, then you will lose to it. Unfortunately, I lost to it this time. So, but anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you learned something from that game, and yeah, feel free to leave your any comments you have in the YouTube comments of what you think I could have done differently, or maybe something that you learned from this build that you actually haven't been doing in your build so far. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day.